Hello, everyone. Okay, so I am going to check my son's tablet. Thank goodness that we pay for our kids to have better tech than we do. I have a computer that is, I don't know, how old is my computer? Maybe 5 or 6 years old, and both of my sons have brand new tablets, brand new, like never had to use them before. So I'm just checking to see if it is in fact live, and then we can get started. I'm really excited to be hanging out with all of you. Yeah, I can see myself. Yay! So if you are here, you should be able to see a chat box below. If you're on mobile, I'm not entirely sure what that chat box will look like, but if you are on a desktop, hi Jody, I see you. Yay, it's working. Fantastic. Okay, I'm not going to watch myself on the tablet and on two screens. That's a little narcissistic even for me. So I'm going to turn off the tablet. Hopefully that's working. So you can just type in there and say hello. Don't be shy. Just give yourself a temporary name in the chat box. And I'm also going to let everyone know that if you need to leave at any point, this is being recorded. So I will be sending out a recording, and that will be all good. So excellent. Yay. If you're just joining us, my name is Sarah, and I write a blog called Sleeping is for Losers. And I've been writing that blog for over 7 years now. I cannot believe that I've been writing a blog for that long. But I've been living online since 2001 when I started my very first online diary on a site called Diaryland. So I'm not nearly as old as I'm making myself sound, but there was this brand new thing out on the internet when I was, I don't even know if I was 20 yet. And it was called Diaryland, and you literally wrote a diary and people could read it. And that was my first kind of entry into the online world. And I was so hooked, and I've been hooked ever since. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be talking to all of you about my favorite thing in the world, which is social media. Okay, so I'm gonna put in my headphones, and hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better now. So if you couldn't hear me before, hi, I'm so excited for you guys to be here. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to chatting with you all about social media. Now, I'm not huge into introductions, but I do know that a lot of you probably are not sure who I am. And you might be completely brand new to me, and that is okay too. I do have a PowerPoint, and I am not big on screen sharing and doing PowerPoints and things like that, but I think in this case, I am going to share my screen with you guys and give you a little taste of who I am, what I'm about, and what we're going to be talking about today when we talk all about social media. So most of you are bloggers, some of you are business owners, but I know that all of you in some way, shape, or form are on social media. That's probably how you found me, because I really didn't talk about this webinar except for one email that I sent out. So social media is really where you're going to be finding your people if you're a blogger, where you're going to be finding your audience, where you're going to be learning about what people are interested in talking about. And I am just so in love with the power of social media and what it can bring to your life. So if you'll indulge me a little bit, because so many of you are new to me and who I am, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I want to walk you through my social media journey. And stick with me, because there's a method to my madness, and there's a reason I'm telling you all of this, and you'll understand it as we continue. And there will be time at the end if you have questions. Some people already emailed them in, but if you guys have questions that pop up throughout, please leave them in the chat box, and I'll do my best to answer them as best as I can. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, if I can get it to work. And maybe I can't. Let's see. Is it working? No. Okay, so I'm not going to share my screen with you guys. I am instead just going to tell you everything you would have seen on the screen. So my name is Sarah Newcomb, and I write a blog called Sleeping is for Losers. And I am so super passionate about social media. And the reason that I'm passionate about social media is because I have had my life completely transformed by the power of social media. And when I say that, I am not being trite. My entire life was completely changed because of social media. So social media, when it started out, was simply started to allow people the opportunity to just get to know other people. In fact, a lot of social media platforms were created to help people hook up, find dates, someone to hang out with when they got lonely. And that was the whole point of social media. It was to be social. That's right. And the whole point of being social is that you talk and you chat. I mean, think about it this way. When you're out on your street or at the bus stop with your kids, or you're hanging out at the schoolyard getting ready to pick your children up, are you just standing there isolated? If someone says hi to you, do you put your head down? No, you talk, you joke, you make a connection, you talk about your children, you talk about their children, whatever it is. So social media is meant to be a way to connect people. But we've started using it in a completely different way, especially for a blogger or a business owner. And, stop me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm not completely wrong. We use it to promote ourselves. We use it to tell you about all of our products. We use it to give you links to our products. We leave links to our blog posts. We inundate you with as much information. We ask you to visit things. We ask you to buy things. And that's how most of us use social media all the time. In fact, you can take entire courses on how to schedule your social media. So the only thing you have to do is once a week, spend about 2 hours putting in all your blog posts, hit one button, and that's it. You never have to go back on social media. And you can pay $200 to take a course for that. And that blows my mind, because if that is your impression of social media, that it is a place to link drop and then run, you're using it completely wrong. And the transformative power of social media will never be yours if that's how you're viewing it. So let me tell you a little bit about my story and how social media actually changed my life. So I hopped on social media very early. As I said, I had a Diaryland diary back in, I think it was 2001. It was just before I was getting married. And so yes, if you're wondering, I got married very young. I can tell you that story sometime, but I will just drop this little nugget. We knew each other for exactly 3 months before we got married, and we were barely out of our teens. So we're still married though, shockingly. It's a miracle, but we are. So I'd hopped on social media very early. I fell in love with it. I was one of the first people to be using Facebook once it was available to the actual public. I'm Canadian, so it was never available to us when we were in college or university. I was on Twitter within the first few months that Twitter was around, and the same thing with Instagram. I love social media, but I did something really right early on, and this is a complete fluke. I am not like some social media genius, and I am certainly, not some special unicorn, but I never, ever promoted myself on social media. Instead, I used it to make connections, because honestly, that's what I thought it was there for. I thought it was there so I could meet other people who were similar to me. And when I was a teacher, I was in forums to talk to other teachers. When I became a new mom, though, is when social media really began to change my life. You see, when I became a new mom, I was in my mid-20s, and I had no friends with kids, and I had no clue what I was doing, and my son never slept, and I cried all the time, and it just was like the toughest thing I'd ever dealt with. I was so out of my league. And what did I do? I turned to the one place where I felt like maybe I could find other people who would get it, and that was social media. And specifically at that time, it was Twitter. So in 2009, Twitter was just becoming a little bit popular. And I connected with some of the most amazing moms and people who just supported me, who I in turn was able to support, and created this great community. And let me tell you what happened because of that. And this is where it gets interesting and good, so stick with me. all I did on social media was have conversations. That was all I did. I would converse about my baby who cried all the time. I would talk to some mom who was thinking about a certain car seat. I would talk to somebody else who was thinking about a stroller. And suddenly, because of those connections, I started meeting people who became more and more interested in me and what else I had going on in my life besides the new baby. And what happened to be going on in my life at that time was that I'd started a new blog called Sleeping is for Losers. And very genuinely, out of our real conversations, those people started to read my blog and check me out once in a while. And then one day, somebody who I'd been having a conversation about the Toronto Blue Jays with, the Toronto Blue Jays are a baseball team, if you're not into your baseball. So somebody that I've been having a conversation about the Toronto Blue Jays with messaged me and said, hey, I'm so-and-so from Twitter. I love talking to you on Twitter. We've had so much fun. And I've been reading your blog. I know you don't know that, but I've been reading your blog. And I'm actually an editor for a magazine. And I think you would be great at writing a story about how moms can connect over sports. And that literally changed my life, that one email. And that came out of a conversation where I'd been talking about how much I love the Toronto Blue Jays, and she was talking about how much she loved the Red Sox. And of course, she was very, very wrong, because the Red Sox are not that great of a baseball team. And I had no problem telling her that, but we had a lot of fun with that conversation. And out of that conversation, I got my first magazine article. I'd never written a magazine article before. I didn't even know what the heck a weekly column on their blog that exploded my opportunities to reach people across Canada and the United States. I was paid for that. Yes, I was paid for that, $200. I can't even believe that somebody paid me for that. And then I was approached by another magazine editor to write another article about parenting. I'd never talked to her before, but she had been connected to me somehow on Twitter and found my blog and wanted to have me write something for her readers. And then a couple of years after all of this started happening, I was approached again on Twitter. A lot happened for me on Twitter. I am a big fan of Twitter. By a national newspaper editor. And she just tweeted me and asked me for my email address, which I thought was bizarre, but I gave it to her. And she emailed me and she proposed that I begin to write a weekly education column for her newspaper, which was published across Canada. And it would be online and in print. And I did that for over a year. I was a nationally published weekly columnist. And then it snowballed into television opportunities, radio opportunities, and eventually it led to me getting my own daily live television talk show. Now, guys, I am not bragging or telling you how amazing I am or anything like that. What I am telling you is that every single one of those opportunities came from a social media interaction that I had on Facebook or on Twitter. Instagram wasn't around when this all started. And it only happened because I approached social media as a completely social platform, not a place to drop links, not a place to ask people to buy, come, do this, do that. Look what I can do for you. All I did was hang out, talk to people, learn about them. That's so crucial. Remember that. Learn about them, have real conversations, and then they started coming to me with opportunities that still blow my mind. When I tell you some of the stuff that I've had chances to do, even just recently, I came back from a trip to Florida that was completely sponsored. It was paid for. And that was because of somebody who I met on Twitter. It really can happen. Social media can absolutely change your life. And so what I want to talk to you about today are really actionable ways that you can change your social media game plan, for lack of a better word, so that you can start to have the same or similar or your own opportunities come to you. And it really is not as hard as you would think. But here's the trick. Social media is super, super noisy. It is a noisy, noisy place. And unfortunately, because it is so noisy, we think we have to bombard people with links and requests and continually tell them about how great we are. When really, social media can be the total game changer for you if you use it to connect with people you would never have the opportunity to meet in real life. Use it as an outlet for your thoughts and creativity. When you think nobody cares what you ate for lunch, I'm sorry, they care. They care a lot about what you had for lunch. You're going to find your tribe on there, the people who like, know, and trust you. And then you're going to be able to grow with them. And the most amazing thing about social media that I think we miss often is that it is rich with people, and even more importantly, businesses who want someone like you to connect with. Okay, so let's get into kind of the meat and potatoes of this. How can you actually harness the power of social media? Well, there's a few steps, and you can really reap the rewards, potentially even transform your life or your business if you approach it with a research mindset. Hi, Katie. How are you? And hi, Julia, too. I see you on there. All right. So the first actionable tip that I want you to take, and I wish I could share my screen with you guys, and I'm sorry that I can't. Maybe I'll send you my slides as well so that you can not have to take notes or whatever you're choosing to do. The first actionable step that you're going to take is to get researching. So in order for you to really utilize social media to its full potential and allow it to really change your life and bring people into your life that would never meet you otherwise, you need to figure out, first of all, who do you want to impact or connect with on social media? You need to sit down and really kind of write it out. Who are you looking to impact or connect with? And maybe it's moms, maybe it's brand new moms, maybe it's moms who need to lose weight, maybe it's moms who need help with breastfeeding, maybe it's not moms at all. I just always use moms because most of us are moms. But who do you want to connect with on social media? What opportunities could you create for yourself on social media? So you need to go into social media with an actual plan. Hold on here. Oh, is it happening? Is it happening? I don't know. You might be able to see my screen and you might not. Did it happen? No. Okay. Never mind. I tried. So anyway, it happened and then it went away. So you need to decide, first of all, who do you want to impact or connect with on social media? That's your number one thing that you are trying to do. Then you want to say, what opportunities could you create for yourself on social media? That is so important. Really think about, once you know who you want to connect with, what kind of opportunities do you want to create for conversation? Then think about you cannot skip. You need to know where the people you're trying to connect with are. Now, for someone like me who was really hoping to have opportunities to write, Twitter was the best place for me to be, because that is where so many editors, journalists, people who are in that industry hang out. It was perfect for me to start connecting with them. I would never have opportunity to talk to them otherwise. My goodness, they wouldn't have looked twice at me. If you're looking to connect with moms specifically, Instagram is where you want to go. If you're looking to connect with people who are maybe in their 40s and up, Facebook is where you want to go. So really think about, where are the people you want to connect with living online? You need to know where they're going to be. And then also, how can you begin to connect with them? I'm going to give you some tips on how to actually approach people online without being weird about it. because it can kind of feel weird, but once you get the hang of it, it's not weird at all, especially because they can't see your face. It's so good when they can't see your face. And then the last thing that I want you to think about, and this is a really, really crucial thing, and I'm not saying it facetiously at all, I want you to think about where and how you can serve others. And this is a really, really crucial part. So as much as, yes, you want to be able to find your connections, propel your business forward, grow your audience, whatever it is that you want to do, you have to really think about where and how you can serve others, because the big part of connection is that you need to be giving people really valuable information, valuable conversation, valuable connections if you expect them to give you anything in return. So you might actually be able to see my screen right now. If you can see it, let me know, because that would be awesome. All right, so that's your research. You can't skip that part. As much as you may want to, you cannot skip that part. You have got to figure out where your people are, who you want to connect with, and what you're going to say to them, how you're going to interact with them, and kind of what you can give to them so that they feel like they're getting something. All right, so before you get overwhelmed, let me kind of break some things down for you. So first of all, I want you to choose those platforms, and I am going to give you permission right here to not have to be on every single social media platform. Guys, you do not need to be on every platform out there. I cannot say that enough, okay? You need to choose the platforms that are right for you. And so for me, I have chosen to be on Twitter because I just love Twitter. I have chosen to be on Facebook, and I have chosen to be on Instagram. Those are the 3 platforms that I have chosen to be on. You choose the platforms that work for you. If you don't like Snapchat, don't be on Snapchat. If you don't like Twitter, don't be on Twitter. Choose the ones that you know are going to work for you. But in order to make sure that you are equipped with the best skills and the best tips, I am going to break down the main 3, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, because I want you to make sure that you are using them correctly. Most of us should have, regardless of what our business is, most of us should have at least a presence on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You don't have to go whole hog into all of them, but you should have some kind of presence. So let's start with Facebook. Facebook is the one a lot of us are familiar with because it is one that we use personally and professionally. The majority of us have a Facebook page that we use personally, and we have a Facebook page that we also use professionally. So Facebook is really great for developing a fan base or a following of people who like interacting with your work or share your passion or share your sense of humor. I know there's a huge push to start a Facebook group. Can I just say and give you permission, just start a fan page, just a page for your blog or your business that people can like, and you can post links, and you can post things you find funny, and you can post information that you think is really important for people to have, and not worry so much about cultivating a group, because cultivating a group can take more time than anything else. Use Facebook to share information. That is what it is meant for. Also, use it to show off your personality. So you need to show people that you are someone real, and Facebook is a great place to do that. Just a day or 2 ago, I shared this unicorn cake that I could never ever make, but it was very popular, and people loved seeing it. I got tons of comments, tons of likes on it. People even messaged me to ask me questions about it, which is hilarious because it is not my video. I did not make it. But it was a fun way to interact and connect with people I'd never met before. I had no connection to them. And that's really what Facebook is. It's a place to show off your personality, give insights into your passions and beliefs, and allow others to share the same. And can I just say how great Facebook Live is? It is such a fantastic way to really connect and show off who you are. And if you do not do video yet, I really want to encourage you to think about doing that, because that is such an effective way to really start to connect with people who like you. And I know you might be saying in your head, yeah, but I mean, there's only like 5 people who like my page. That's okay. I'm going to give you a little trick in a little bit to help grow your page. So Facebook is where you're going to develop your fan base. Give them information that you want them to have. Now let's move on to Twitter. So I love Twitter. I love Twitter. Obviously, because Twitter brought so much into my life. You guys, if you were listening to my story, you know that Twitter interactions absolutely changed the chorus of my life. It changed the job I have. It changed the way I now run my business. I never even imagined that my blog would become a business. I couldn't have even fathomed that back in 2009. So Twitter is not a mystery, and Twitter is not boring, no matter what you've heard. It's totally not. You need to use Twitter to have discussions. It's full of people who want to talk about topics that matter to them, or talk about nothing at all. Can I just tell you that the things I get the most interaction on have zero to do with my blog and everything to do with the fact that I love the Toronto Blue Jays, I love the Toronto Raptors, that's the basketball team, and I am obsessed with both pizza and tacos. Those are the things that people care about on Twitter, and really nobody cares about my blog on Twitter. But you know what's funny? Those people who talk to me about pizza or tacos, a couple of weeks later, I'll find out that they've signed up for my email list on my blog. And I'll think, interesting. We've never talked about my blog. But having those just real life, hey, I'm a person too conversations actually matters. And that's where Twitter is pure gold. So if you're feeling like you're struggling with Twitter, search hashtags to get in the conversations. Things like hashtag mom life, hashtag mom blog. If you're a mom blogger, that's an excellent one. Search it, find, comments that people have left, and just insert yourself into a conversation. Do it. Don't wait for someone to talk to you. Don't wait for someone to reach out to you. Just insert yourself into conversations and just join in. It'll take a tiny bit of practice, yes, because it doesn't feel necessarily natural. But once you get the hang of it, you will see the way people flock to you when they realize you are just there to hang out and talk. Maybe offer advice here and there, maybe razz somebody about how awful their sports team is compared to your sports team, or whatever it is that you're into. There are also opportunities to join Twitter chats and Twitter parties to find like-minded people who you feel connected with. It's noisy, it moves quickly, but people really do want to connect with you on a human and personal level. So that's what I want you to do when you go on Twitter. Do not worry about scheduling out 100 links to your blog posts. That's a waste of your time. Worry about going on Twitter and being a regular human being. Now, I'm going to talk to you about Instagram, and Instagram is my new love. I really am so in love with Instagram and all it has to offer. And Instagram is really interesting because although it is visual, you do not have to be a photographer or, someone who is perfect and pretty and always looks amazing to really reap the rewards of Instagram. Instead, what I want you to do on Instagram is focus on creating stories surrounding your pictures, no matter what those pictures are, because those stories that you write out in the captions, that's what's going to connect you to others. And I promise you, people are reading your captions, and long captions are even better than short ones. So please really focus on creating a story surrounding that picture. The picture might be what makes them stop, but the caption is what makes them stay and makes them fall in love with you. You also want to make sure, just like Twitter, use hashtags. People are really weird about using hashtags, and they don't want to overuse them, and they don't want people to think that they're trying too hard. Nobody cares. Use hashtags, use all the hashtags you can. That's the only way people are finding you. Hashtags are like a search engine. So use hashtags to draw in your tribe, and always, always, always reciprocate the love. If someone comments on your picture, if someone gives you a like, if someone, reaches out in any way, take the time, make the effort to comment back. I can tell you from personal experience that is the best way to connect. And really too, just like Twitter, you got to put yourself out there. Don't wait for people to find you. Get out there and find the people that you are interested in connecting with. So you're going to see a theme in all three of these major social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, is that they are there for you to connect. And once you have those connections, once people realize you're not some robot, or even worse, you're not somebody who just programmed in a month's worth of tweets and just never shows up. Once people figure out that you're there, you will be amazed at how they flock to you, how they want to talk to you, how they want to find out what you think about things. It is almost shocking to me that the way people will reach out once they realize you're a real person with real likes and real interests. So the whole idea is to just get yourself social. Develop relationships, and yes, you can be strategic about it. Yes, you can very purposefully reach out to certain people. But while you're doing that, do it on a really human level. Start a conversation with them. Join a conversation that they're already part of. Ask really leading questions. It's the same kind of stuff as when you meet people in real life. People love to talk about themselves. I love to talk about myself, and you probably love to talk about yourself as well. So ask the kind of questions that are going to get people talking. And in that process, also offer good answers and good advice. So you might think I spend my whole life on social media. I totally don't, even though my hand is always connected to my phone. But I do a couple of things really well. And these are the tips I'm going to kind of leave you with. So first of all, if you want social media, you have to show up consistently. And that's why I hate this whole idea of scheduling once a week and then never touching it again, because you're not showing up consistently. Yes, it will look like you're there, but you're not actually there. So set aside like 15, 20 minutes a day. I'm not asking you to set aside 2 or 3 hours a day, but every day show up and make it a point to answer a question, comment back for someone, reach out to somebody who you've been looking to connect with, and just get yourself out there. 15, 20 minutes a day, I think all of us can find it at some point. I promise we can. And trust me, I think all of us on here are moms. So we all know how busy we are. Really push yourself to make the connections yourself. Don't wait for people to find you. Yes, there will be people who stumble upon you, but you also have to really push yourself out there and say, hey, I'm here. I'm interested in what you do. And I'd love to talk to you more about it. You have to also be willing to show who you are and what you're all about, warts and all. So this is so essential. Don't try to be too pretty. Don't try to be too perfect. Don't try to be too precious. Don't worry too much about what every single person thinks of you. The people who are your best fans, the people who will probably end up buying something from you one day, the people who will read your blog every time you have a new post out, the people who will be champions of your business, those are the people who like your warts, who like the things about you that aren't perfect and amazing. And I'll just give you a quick example from my own life. I just mentioned that I was just in Florida. I got a facial, and I have very sensitive skin. I got a facial in Florida, and I am so broken out right now. I look like worse than when I was 15. It's awful. I have acne all over my face. Obviously, the facial did not agree with me. But you know what? When I mentioned it the other day on Twitter, I got so many awesome conversations and so many awesome connections from people simply because I mentioned something about myself that wasn't awesome and amazing. And I think that was a really good takeaway, that you do not have to always be perfect. And in fact, when you are imperfect, people seem to really like you a little bit more. And then you have to let go of the numbers. This is such a tough one for everyone, not just me, for everyone. Numbers make you feel good. When you have 10,000 followers, that makes you feel like you're important, except if those 10,000 followers don't give two hoots about you, it means nothing. You have to go for quality over quantity. Having 500 followers who really, really care about you and want to talk to you and engage with you and really like who you are and what you're all about is so much more important than 10,000 followers who never look at your stuff, who could care less about you, and who really just follow you for the sake of getting their own following numbers up. Numbers has become a game on social media like I have never seen before. People are purchasing followers. People are doing follow for follow or like for like. And I just can't tell you enough how much you need to let go of that. Don't let your social media life be about reaching a specific number. Instead, let it be about those quality conversations and connections that are going to propel you so much further than having 10,000 followers. But my best tip of all for any social media is to not hide. You have to push yourself out there. That is just so essential. All right, so I am back. Hello. And, you know, it's a quick overview, I know, but I have a real heart for connecting on social media in a way that is honest and authentic and real. And you know what? I know the power of it personally, but I have also had the opportunity to work on social media accounts for massive corporations that probably you've even heard of. And I've seen over and over again, the big corporations that worry about numbers and worry about looking popular online, they always tank. But the corporations that go in with a social media strategy that's all about connecting with their customers, hanging out, having fun, being real people, not just, things that are scheduled out, but actual real people, they are the ones that just skyrocket and usually ends up leading to hundreds, if not thousands, of new customers for those corporations. The exact same principles apply to us as bloggers or entrepreneurs or whatever it is we are. So I hope that my personal story of social media kind of encourages you to start looking at using it a bit of a different way. But also, I hope that you've kind of taken away the real key elements of connection and utilizing each social media platform that you choose to be on, because remember, you don't have to be on all of them, utilizing them in a way that feels really authentic and good to you. People want to connect with you. You're not bugging them. I promise. No one is following you because they have to. Trust me. Well, maybe your mom. But other than your mom, no one is following you because they have to. They want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear your thoughts. And the more you can give them of that, the more they will want from you. And that's especially good if you are a blogger looking for traffic or you are a business person looking to sell something. That's the kind of connection that you want to have. So I got a few questions via email that I'm going to answer about social media. And if you have any questions and you can use the chat box, you're welcome to ask them now. The first question that I got was about Facebook growth. And this person is really, really struggling with getting anyone to like their Facebook page. And dude, I feel you. Facebook has this ridiculous algorithm that changes all the time. And it's really, really frustrating. But at the same time, I applaud them because it keeps people from being able to trick the system. But what you can do right now in this moment, what is working really well on Facebook is sharing other people's viral content. So I mentioned before about that unicorn cake video that I shared and how much action I got on my Facebook page. I think I got 15 new followers within an hour of sharing this video about making a unicorn cupcake. I'm not Pinteresty. I don't know. It has something to do with unicorn and cake. But that is the biggest hack I can give you right now. Find stuff that is really highly watched and share it onto your Facebook page. It brings people in, and Facebook's algorithm goes, hey, this person knows what kind of stuff is good. I'm going to help them out and put them into more feeds. And that's actually how it works. So share viral content, and also share content from pages that are bigger than yours. So the best way to do that is to think of other blogs or other businesses that are somewhat similar to yours, that maybe would have some of the same people that you're trying to attract, and share content from their page, directly from their page to your page. And that's the best way to kind of hack the Facebook algorithm right now and to start to bring more people in. But Facebook also loves people who show up consistently. So if you are just a set it and forget it person, you're just scheduling out a few posts, or you post once a week to Facebook, no, they're not interested in that. You have to consistently show up in order for their algorithms to start to know, like, and trust you. And once Facebook algorithms start to know, like, and trust you, then they start pushing your content out to more people. So I hope that that answers your question about how to grow on Facebook. Give it time. Give it a good month of consistent effort over and over again. The next thing somebody asked was such a good question. It said, I'm new to blogging and I'm feeling overwhelmed by social media. So what's more important, blogging or social media? So tricky question. My answer is both are important, which is, I know, not the answer you're looking for, but stick with me for a second. So blogging is super important in that you own that blog. It's yours. It's your site. You don't own Facebook. You don't own Instagram. They could shut down your account tomorrow. And, you know, what good would all of that work have been to gain traction if you don't have anywhere else for people to find you? So I think blogging is so important because it's your own personal place to be. What I would suggest is that if you're feeling super overwhelmed, especially if you're new to blogging, blog one time a week. Don't push yourself to do more than once a week. And then spend the other time that you have hanging out on social media and starting to develop those relationships. That is what you need to be doing. So that is really, really crucial. And also, if you're feeling overwhelmed by social media, let me just give you this permission right now. You do not need to be A, on every platform, and B, you do not need to be going gangbusters all the time. Literally 15 to 20 minutes a day is what you need to start with. Maybe you'll want to grow to more, but start there. Give yourself permission to just do 15 minutes of hanging out on whichever platform you choose each day, and worry a lot less about promoting your blog post and a heck of a lot more about just connecting with people. Because I guarantee the more you worry about those connections, you'll see a rise in your traffic. It happens every single time without fail. So I hope that answers your question. Blogging is important. You need to keep it up, but keep using social media to continually make those connections that are just going to propel you to that next level. You're not going to get to the next level without starting to make those connections on social media. Okay, so the next question was about Facebook ads. Are they worth it? So the short answer is no. They're not worth it unless you have a budget. So it really depends on where you are. If you are a blogger, absolutely not. Facebook ads are not worth it for you. So don't waste your money on them. They're not worth it. What you can do if you want to experiment a little is boost a post here and there and spend like $5. I'd say $5 max. If you are a business owner, are Facebook ads worth it? Again, if you have a budget to play around with, yes. In fact, I know somebody who has a really good business. She's making a good amount of money, and she spent, I want to say $15,000 on Facebook ads, and she only saw a return of $2,000. So Facebook ads are really finicky, and if you have the money and the time to play around with them, or to pay someone else to play around with them, great. If you're just trying to get new likes on your page, no, it's not worth it. Instead, use that hack I told you about, sharing that viral content, sharing from pages that are bigger than yours. That's going to be just as good as putting out Facebook ads, and it's going to save you a whole chunk of change. Now, the next question was about choruses. Are they worth it? Yes or no? So this person asked, I know this isn't exactly about social media, but I was wondering. So I can relate them to social media courses. Yes and no. Some are worth it, some are not. So let me couch it with this. I've taken many courses, some very expensive, some very inexpensive, some totally worth it, some not worth it at all. I think every single course is useful if you put a lot of effort into it. Never go into a course or an ebook or anything thinking that they're going to give you the secret that will unlock everything for you, because nobody can do that. There is no like magic wand for social media. I wish there was, but there's no magic wand for social. There's almost nothing you can't figure out if you spend the time Googling it and looking it up on the internet and things like that. But unfortunately, most of us don't have that time. So really approach courses or ebooks or whatever it is that you're looking to purchase, coaching, as a way to get you where you want to go faster, instead of worrying about if they're going to be able to give you that magic secret that's going to make you explode all over the internet. Because my friends, I promise you, nobody has that magic secret. Nobody has it. Okay, and then the last question that I got was about people who post income reports. First of all, why do they do that? And why are so many people stopping posting their income reports? Okay, so here's the deal when it comes to income reports. Lots of people post them. I've never posted one. Lots of people post them because people are interested. Do bloggers actually make money? Do mompreneurs actually make money? And I mean, I read them. I love, kind of seeing where people make their money. A lot of people talk about making hundreds of thousands of dollars each month. And I mean, like, that's awesome for them. A lot of people are stopping though, because if you live in North America, there's actually a bit of a government crackdown when it comes to income reports, and they want to see if your tax returns and your online income report match up. And so a lot of people have stopped posting their income reports for that reason. Now, not to say that they were lying about their income, because I have no idea. I have no clue. But that's why you're going to see a lot less people posting about their income online. And I just want to say, especially if you're newer to the blogging or social media world, do not be discouraged by people's income reports. Do not be discouraged by what you see other people saying their traffic is. Listen, you don't know what's going on their website. You don't know how many websites they've had before this one. You don't know anything about their story except for what they put out there. So as much as they are fun to read, I would not put a ton of stock into everything that you read on those income reports. So I hope that answers your questions and also helps you feel a little bit better. All right, and the tech gods were absolutely not kind to me on this webinar. So I do apologize for the tech problems that we had, and I'm going to make sure that I send out a very clean copy of this along with my slides, so you can kind of get a really good understanding of where I was going, especially if I was cutting in and out, because a couple of you commented that I was cutting in and out. So I so apologize for that. But I do want to say thank you so much for being part of this webinar. You know what? It is such an amazing thing to me how big blogging has become and how much blogging and social media has changed since 2009 when I kind of started this journey to right now. And like, what a time to be alive. Just yesterday, I was doing an interview with somebody who was in Nigeria, and I'm sitting here in Canada, and she's talking about like the extreme heat she's having. And I was talking about the snowstorm that was going on outside. So like, what a time to be alive, that we are connecting with people in a way that we never have connected before. And Katie, I just saw your question. Can we do this once a week? Absolutely. In fact, I have decided that in March, I am going to make it my webinar month. So I hope I don't annoy you too much. You don't have to come to all of them, please, or please do, but don't feel obligated. Where, I just want to break down topics that might be new to you or that you might be struggling with. And not because I'm an expert in everything, because I'm certainly not, but I've also been around the block for a little while. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot when it comes to blogging and social media. And I would love to be able to share that with all of you. So, you know what? As much as the tech was not the best, it will get better. I will make this get better. Trust me. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's been about 50 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go unless you have any other questions that you wanted answers. But you guys know what my email address is, Sarah with an H at sleepingisforlosers.com. And I would love to answer any of your questions if you want to send them to me via email as well, because I promise I read every single one. Hey, Julia, I'm so glad that you can't wait to come. Please do come, and we will figure out this text so that it doesn't, so I can actually, share my screen. And I just want to mention, when it comes to those slides, my husband said they were the ugliest slides he'd ever seen, and he was horrified that I was going to show those. So I am so glad that the tech worked halfway through and I was able to show you my slides, because as ugly as they were, now I take pride in them. Like the ugliest slides he's ever seen, that's something for me to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? So I was glad. And that's just like a sneak peek into our marriage. That is exactly how we talk to each other. And we've been together now for 15 years. 16 years, something like that. So we're good. Don't worry. He's a totally awesome guy. All right. So if you do have topics that you want to talk about, I know somebody asked me to do a, thank you, Katie. Somebody asked me to do a webinar on sponsored posts, and I would love to do a webinar on that, or how you can monetize your blog in ways that don't require you to have tons of traffic. That would be a topic I would love to talk about. So if that's something that interests you, please let me know. And if you do have anything that you want me to talk about specifically, I'd love to hear. But thank you for everyone who stuck with me. I'll make sure you guys get a replay that's a little bit cleaner than our webinar. And I'm going to let you guys all go. So you guys have a wonderful day, and we will definitely be talking soon. I'll be checking you out on social media, okay? You can check me out too. Bye, guys.